And it looks like we're live. I don't know how many people are hanging out there, but if anybody's seeing this, how's it going? Not the usual date or time, although things have been a little bit up in the air the past little bit, so who knows? Usually I'd be doing this Wednesdays. It looks like we're live. Tuesday. Things didn't work out for Tuesday, and people are hanging out there yesterday. So if anybody's seeing this, how's it going? It actually planned to do this last week, date or time, although things have been a little bit up in the air. Had problems with my streaming PC, so since the last stream, usually I'd be doing this Wednesdays. It looks like we're live. Rebuilt. Things didn't work out for Tuesday, and people are hanging out there yesterday. So use the processor and memory from the Dell machine. Not the usual date or time, although things have been a little bit up in the air. Had problems with my streaming PC, so since the last was streamed, usually I'd be doing these Wednesdays. It looks like we're live. Rebuilt. Things didn't work out for Tuesday, and people are hanging out there yesterday. So use the processor and memory from the Dell machine. Not the usual date or time, although things have been a little bit up in the air. Had problems with my. Okay, does that get rid of the echo? Let's see if it's cleared up now. I guess desktop audio is streaming the audio from my mic. And then, anyways, I've muted all the audio input devices except for my Bluetti, so should be good now. Let's see. I think I'll wait a little bit before I relaunch into that story, because the only person that's in here right now, I believe, already knows the story, so. Isn't that right, Adam B9268? Glasses could use with a little dedusting. All that being said, my CPU usage is down. It's like, it was at 40-50% before when I was doing this at least. And it's sitting at 7% right now because I'm able to offload everything to the GPU and no dropped frames. So that's good. Oh, I can probably guess. So I need to work a little bit on the framing and stuff like that, but I was aiming to get started by 6:30. Didn't quite happen, but I only got till about 8:30 to stream, so we're going to be working on a family member asked for a RetroPie setup for Christmas. You guys might recognize this one from a few weeks ago. This is the one that I was working on in stream. We installed. It's not Emulation Station. It's well, it is Emulation Station. It's not RetroPie. It's Recall. Is it Recalbox? I don't remember now, but it's the new sort of official through the installer RetroPie retro game emulation targeting system for the Raspberry Pi. So. So I've got here, you'll see I got some dongles installed there. I picked up some controllers. The one thing I've had issues with in the past is Bluetooth connectivity. Very cool. One thing I've had, I just realized this setup may not actually end up working at all either. There's so one thing I've had problems with in the past is Bluetooth. I've done setups for friends before, and they weren't super technical, and their controllers would stop working, and then I'd be walking them through how to repair them. Repair, not repair. So I thought I'll get controllers with dongles so that that's not an issue, and so these controllers, which look an awful lot like an Xbox controller, they have the ability to connect to dongles, the Nintendo Switch, or Bluetooth. So I figured I'll get ones with dongles. We'll put the dongles inside. We're going to build them into the case so they won't go missing, and then we'll be all set. But now I'm concerned because I just saw that the dongles as you can see there, have pairing buttons. So this may not be any better of a solution. So I think what we're going to start off with is I'm going to connect one of my other streaming cards, and we're going to connect this to it, and we're going to see what is what with the controllers, if this just works or not. Behold. I don't recognize the name, but you've obviously been here before because you got a wrench. You'll have to let me know who you are as I get this guy connected. And we've got 3 generations of Pi here. There's a Raspberry Pi 3. And then we've got a 4. And this is a 5, but with a cooler and stuff on it. They don't look dramatically different, but the performance is quite a bit different between them all. Uncle Ron's 3D Pub has joined the chat. How are you, Uncle Ron? Messaging me about Jeopardy questions. I won't say what the question was, because it would be very obvious or very easy to find out where I live based on it. But he messaged me to ask if I lived near the hometown of a famous individual. I said, I live so close to that hometown that I've met one of that person's ex-girlfriends. So let's see. See if I can get my... I've just got them labeled cheap HDMI. So, actually, we'll make sure one's configured first. Ah, yes. I do owe you one. And you weren't going to be available Tuesday. Let's see. Okay, USB video is on. So I'm going to move that up to the top. Then I'm going to go... We're just going to shrink it down. And then we're going to boot this Pi up, and hopefully it just works. Oh, it looks like it's doing stuff. Recall box. Is that what I said? I think so. Well, I'm hoping we tackle it today. I do have to complete something for a Christmas gift beforehand because I've kind of been putting it off. Let's see. Hey, the controller just works. I didn't have to pair nothing. I didn't have to do nothing. Let's see. These, of course, none of these games are actually loaded onto this console. I'm sure everybody understands. This is just all placeholders in case they want to put their own stuff in as we go through here. Except for, you know, just one specific game that I'm going to go and find now. Oh, what's going on, Jack? Let's see. I gotta make sure, yeah, the audio is muted from this too, because that's where they get you. We're gonna go for Super Mario All-Stars, if I can, you know, find it. Did it not copy? I think it's just really weirdly jumping through the games on here, but we're just gonna make sure that, you know, the controller's adequate. The trails are bad. I didn't see Auntie K ask that. Let's see how she plays, and also how much of a delay there is on on there's a fair amount. Yeah, it's it's not great through the capture card. It would probably be better if I put it through the Elgato, but the Elgato is... Oh, this is the best part. So, as some of you know who were here for the early chat, I was having a problem with my streaming PC. It's actually started a few weeks ago. So then a friend of mine had given me a motherboard that we thought was dead, but he passed on to me in case I could get it working again. And it might have ended up that it was... Oh, that's weird. What's causing the lag here? Huh. I couldn't get him to run. I wonder if it's the... Oh, is it... It's weird mappings on the keys. I'm going to have to remap them, so let's see if I can get out of here. Oh, I think I found it. That's good. The mappings are weird, and the turbo button isn't where you'd expect it to be. So we're going to back out of here, and then we're going to do... Is it this button? No. Is that back out, hopefully? There. Then you're going to go to controller settings, configure a controller. 2 gamepads detected. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Up, down, left, right, up, left, up, left. A, B, X, Y, start, select, L1, R1, L2, R2, L3, R3, and then the hotkey. We did it, probably. Except for I might have hit cancel at the end, so I guess we'll find out. Try again. Explains why the game felt so slow. Let's see if I've got... Oh, no, it's... That's not bad. I can deal with that. Significantly better. Let's see if we can at least beat the first level, shall we? And then we're going to get to work on the box for this guy. And then hopefully in the next stream we'll be getting back to the printer design that we're going to be working on for the majority of the winter, because I have the majority of the parts. I think mostly I'm just missing fasteners, so. And it's a star. Nope. Yep, we got it. Okay. Well, that works absolutely fine. Perfect. Okay, let's shut her down. I'll have to see what happens when I have both controllers going at some point, but we're just going to go ahead and assume, because we're here for the stream, that this is going to work as expected. So let's turn off my capture thing so it's not over my face anymore. We're going to bring up Fusion 360. I'm just going to bring this up over here. And then I'm going to drag it over to this other window just for a second so I can see. We want Fusion 360 on top, and I'm going to actually shrink myself here. We're going to move it down below the Elgato, and this is where it gets a little tricky. Give me 2 seconds, guys. I couldn't set this up exactly the way I wanted it before the stream, but I think that'll do it. Maybe I'll put myself in the bottom corner. I feel like I'll cover up less stuff. So we'll minimize that. Jackson's new PC is working well. It's so weird. I happened across through various friends and stuff like that, like one, two, three, four, five, eighth and ninth generation Intel, which I mean, a few years old now, but still more than capable. So Jackson, his brother, got a couple of let's see, i7. I want to say 9750s, 8750 and 9750. I think one got ninth generation, one got eighth. This thing's running on a ninth generation. My gaming PC downstairs is ninth generation, and I think K's is also ninth gen. So, go figure. So the first thing I'm going to try and do. First of all, does the stream itself look good? The current setup, everything's visible. You can see over here. I'll just toss a rectangle up here to make sure that it appears normally. Like that, like that. Just want to make sure that looks okay before we get started. Oh, K's is eighth. Little creepy there, Adam. I don't know how you know all these things about us, but so I think I'm going to start off by cheating a little instead of, you guys know I usually toss or break out the calipers, start making measurements and off everything, but there's a good chance I can find a model of this board. I think the the placements and stuff are, except for the headphone jack no longer being there, the port placement's the same. So even if I've got a Raspberry Pi 4th gen, Raspberry Pi 4 model, I can start by doing my modeling around that instead of having to start from scratch. So it's been a while since I did this. Let's go back to home and search, and let's do a search for Raspberry. There we go. We're just gonna cheat today. The thing is too, so we're modeling this after the SNES. I have a Super Nintendo Raspberry Pi case that I designed a number of years ago, but first of all, it's been a little. Well, I keep saying first of all. I wanted to get back into modeling. This seemed like a good spot to start, and I need to account for the size of the pins here. So while that other one is minuscule as possible, I can model one that's specifically designed to take this this setup. And I could scale the other one, but then I'm still recreating, like having to redo where the holes are for the mounting holes and the input output. So I kind of figured might as well just start from scratch. So this is going to be the back of the... no, that's an original Nintendo, Jack. Actually, I think this one came maybe right from Autodesk, Mike, or somebody released it on the free files on Autodesk. So, unfortunately, as much as I'd like to credit them, I've lost where I got it. I believe I found this during a stream actually at one point, so might be able to go back and find it. But so this is going to have to be big enough to accommodate the USB dongles for both height. I think the length is going to be the bigger issue. So. Yeah, I'm going to start off by, well, we still need the calipers here. I'm going to measure to see how far, so we need another, let's say 10 centimeters should do it off the ends of those, USB. I'm going to say 11 just to make sure that we got a little bit extra space. So I'm going to start off by just going off of here and expanding this out by 11 millimeters. That's true. I was like semi well organized for today, so that's not bad. And then we're going to just overstretching here. We're going to measure back through here to see how far out the dongles go. It's 56.3. Since none of this needs to be perfect, we're going to do, let's do 58. And I didn't catch the width of the... like I said, none of it has to be perfect. Press pull onto these guys, and we're gonna see roughly how much taller that makes it. We're gonna call it 10. Bam. So that's what the case needs to that's where the case needs to sit. That's what it's got to accommodate. The back's going to be obviously with the HDMI and stuff out the back. And then on the side here, which is going to cover up chat, I need more monitors. Anybody else feel like that? Like, I've got 2 screens, but like chat and this, and then I want to pull up some reference pictures of the Super Nintendo. I guess I could have brought my actual Super Nintendo up as a reference point, but too little too late. Let's just take a look at the SNES. Okay, well... I'm gonna have to look for, like, a side profile, I think. Side profile. Perfect. Okay, so... the Super Nintendo is kind of made up of... I wonder if there's any dimensions for it, if I could just scale it. Let's see what's going on. I also want to keep an eye on chat. Yeah, the phone's not a bad idea, Jack. Maybe that's what we'll do. I'll, Okay. You know what? As I backtrack here, let's go take a look and see what the SNES case looked like that I designed before. Back in 2020. This one's 5 years old. Well, I see the first problem. I clearly did the audio video out through the side there on the Super Nintendo there, so... Looks good, though. Hey, good. Certainly looks the part. Okay. Well, I don't think that's going to be much help either, so... Well, that's cool. I'm glad it helped somebody. It's had a few downloads. I don't even know what my most popular pie case design is. Probably the folding one. Okay, so what I'm going to do... I'm going to steal some stuff from... Not steal from. I'm going to use reference images from... I really am out of practice. I'm trying to decide how we want to do this, but... Okay, so... That's going to be the back, so... Or, sorry. Get rotated here. This is going to be the side profile. And the Super Nintendo has kind of 3 sections. So it goes like that. Then it goes like... What was the length of that? Roughly about the same. Let's not just do roughly. Let's do... Okay, so... Starting with the case here like this. And building it so it's going to be tall enough. We actually need to come down a little bit more. Call it like that. And we'll do 60. Then we're gonna do another 60, but it's a bit of a struggle meal for me right now. So let's do 40 tall. 40 is probably too much. We can, yeah, we can probably get away with 38. And we're gonna do 38 and 40, no, 50. And we'll do another 50, and we'll do 48, 50, 48, 52, and then this thing's getting too big too quick because I can't, this would be okay. I swear I've got a plan. I don't know what it is yet. We're gonna get there. Don't worry about it. How do I not have the paint app? That was weird. Not that you guys could see the error. I keep losing my chat. Yeah, just a regular Raspberry Pi, well, sort of Raspberry Pi 5. Don't forget to blow in the cartridge. That is key. Also, how are you, Mark? Good to see you. It is just a regular Raspberry Pi 5, but I'm building a case that'll allow us to include the dongles for the wireless controllers. I went through a little bit of a spiel earlier, but it's going to somebody that doesn't want to have to go through learning how to do the Bluetooth stuff and that type of thing. So I picked controllers that have dongles, and I'm going to build the dongles in so they don't get lost and they're always connected. And I'm hoping that'll work out pretty well. So I'm just getting started. I'm gonna import a side profile of the SNES, and I'll size it so that the Pi can fit inside it, and then we'll get to drawing. So if we say this is all, there's so much wasted space in this case, so I don't know if I'm going to do it exactly to scale. But we definitely want to give it the homage, so I'm just going to make this 2 millimeters thick for now. And then we're going to do an insert. Oh, I kept it separate, that's good. Insert, insert canvas? Yeah, I think so. Insert for my computer. I think it's probably right on desktop, right? And then SNES, side profile. Okay. That doesn't look too bad. I'll have to reposition the Super Nintendo inside it, but I think that'll be okay. So then we're just going to just sort of roughly go straight across here. I'll add the curve in a second. And we'll just bring it down to here. Let's just see where we're at. So that gives us the rough outline. I do want to get that curve though, so let's go create arc, 3-point arc. We'll go here and here. We'll do yay like that. And I believe I did 2, so there's our Super Nintendo. Oh, set 4. I'm gonna hide that guy. That's 2 there, and then we're gonna add our remaining angles through here, like that. And that feels mostly like we're off to a good start. We'll hide the Super Nintendo canvas. And yeah. I don't know that it's a half a pie case, but we're off to the races anyways, considering it was a little bit of a jerky start. Oh. And seeing there's a little nub in here that we don't want. Keeps clicking. I think it's this mouse. I feel like this mouse was cursed even when I was living in Ottawa. But wham bam, done for that. So now I'm gonna... Oh, there's another one on the bottom too. I wonder what created the circle. Now we want to see what the total length of the case is. 179. So what I'm debating now, because I would like to be able to, you know, make this not a full-size SNES case, basically. I could move the setup to the middle. Let's do move. I just realized I'm still in a sketch. We'll just move out of it. Let's do a move. Components. Move. Grounded to parent. Okay, let's create a copy of it then, and we'll just hide the original. And we'll take a look at what we can do for here. So if this was about yay, that's 50 millimeters, and then we do... We'll move these guys 50 millimeters too. Excuse me. And I'm sure it does have a learning curve, and I'm also sure that I don't do anything the way maybe anybody else would. So let's do a modify scale. Can we get down to, I don't know, 0.75? See what we can do with that. Because it seems to be easier to move the pie or the shell than it does the pie. Then I think, although it is going to throw off the dimensions slightly, I think I'm going to condense it in a little bit too. So we'll do a modify split, where my split body, We'll split on this line. We'll do another one in the front, straight down, finish, modify, split body. Like that. And then we're going to just slightly skew the dimensions. Like that. And I think that'll still be okay. Trial and error mostly. Trial and error for sure. But I got relatively capable. I'm gonna create a copy of that side. I'm gonna bring it. Oh, accidentally grabbed the angle there. Don't want to do that. Probably want to give it a little bit more. I'm just curious how close we're gonna get to with the dimensions of this. I just realized too that my shell's probably are definitely not 2 millimeters anymore. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a -2 here, and we're just gonna do a join. That would work really well, actually. I think I might do that. Like, so we have done. I can actually show you the Amiga. Here, I'll make myself full screen here for a second just to show this off. Yeah, good enough. The Amiga here. I did this for Dave over at Printed Solid, but I made myself one, obviously. The floppy drive is actually the SD card. So I sourced a micro SD to SD card adapter that I could put on a ribbon cable and stick here so that it would be in the same location as the floppy on the original Amiga. So pretty happy with that, how that turned out. I'm a big fan of things usually being accessible from outside, but right now I'm trying to build one that'll be sort of hard to break. So that's where we're at with that. I do want to move this. I think I allowed myself some extra space there, right? I'm pretty sure. Okay, so then we're going to do an offset. And we're going to do an offset of the 2 millimeters to see maybe 1.6. 1.6 is probably good. That's 4 walls. It does look like that should leave us enough space. Do a join. Now obviously the problem here is, as I look at this, it looks like a Super Nintendo except for it's very, very square. Yeah, the Compact Flash is definitely bigger. Like the Compact Flash is like yay big. Trying to remember how the angles are. I might be better off, after having done all this, I might be better off turning this into a solid piece and hiding the Raspberry Pi for now and then chiseling it down. Yeah, it's definitely going to be 2 parts. It's going to be split in the middle. And probably, I mean, there's going to be screws involved anyways to secure the Pi, so it'll probably be screws holding the case together as well. But right now I'm just going to try and chisel out the actual design. So I think we'll go ahead and... I don't remember how I did this, and I'm like a little out of practice. A little out of practice on this, not gonna lie. See if I can find a top-down view of the Super Nintendo. Okay, well, let's start off with, I keep losing my chat, and I don't know why. There we go. I think I don't work on computers or something. What we're going to do here... Yeah, I should have worked that out better. But, so we're going to come back to here. And we're going to follow this line because I goofed a little here, but not so much that we can't fix it, other than, like I said, this mouse has got a thing for double clicking on a single click. So let's do... And then we're going to go across here. We're going to bring it in. I don't know. 5 maybe? That looks right. And normally I'd just mirror it, but we're able to do this pretty quickly. So -5, that looks right. Then we're going to do a modify and a split body. Oh, look, hold on. We're going to... Actually, yes, we are going to split off that bottom part first. We can definitely make that work, Mr. Butler. And let's do a little divide down the middle here. I think the back of this thing might also be curved, but we're not going to worry about that right now. Do a split body here. We're going to do here. Like that. Then we're going to, let's see, let's say 78 degrees, a nice even 78. And we'll do, I think I can still do this without it being that, no I can't. Design it to print around the board, yeah, that way there's no removing it. I think we want 282 here then. Right? And then it changes it to 78 degrees anyways. Let's do -500. Make sure we get there. And then let's actually here we're gonna do a rectangle, yay high, and let's call it 80 degrees. Actually, I want this to kind of line up there. Let's see, that's 83 degrees. So yeah, I do have a fan on. There's actually one built in. So there is going to be ventilation built into it to allow that to get some airflow through it, but there is a cooler, an active cooler on the Pi. Did I say that was 83? 83. I'd like to make sure that this is also 83. So 83. It's looking a little more like a Super Nintendo. We're getting there. Scale's a little off, but, you know. Oh, I just noticed that. It's going to let me just clean it up nicely. No? Usually, I can just... Not usually, but... Get rid of the one in the front. Got rid of the one in the front, but not the back. There we go. Okay, so then... Now we're just kind of eyeballing things, but that's okay. So we're going to bring it up to here. I'm going to divide it by half. Use this guy here as I continue to reference. All right. So off the front of this guy, let's say in 15, and in 15, and we're going to call it 15 in the middle too, I think. It looks maybe 20. Call it 20. 20? Let's call that 50 here. 51. And what was this guy on the inspect on here? 29.499. Huh. Okay, 29.499 and 51, I think is what we came up with. Yeah, I do keep pulling it up. I've got the two screens, so I just keep pulling it up a little bit, and I'm not aiming for 100% accuracy on this one, so I'm just making sure I get most of the features in there. So let's see. I'll have to bring that out a little bit too, but it'd be better if I had a front preview on this. Let me see if I can find one. Okay, I think I screwed up a little bit. That's okay, we can fix that. So I'm going to add those, but well, I'm going to create them, but I'm not going to add them to the existing body, I think. The front of this. Oh, that didn't work, obviously. That did not work, obviously. So let's see here. We're going to go off the side of here. No, we'll go off the side of this one. We're just going to get rid of this angle. Because I do believe, if memory serves, because I don't have a ton of good pictures, that the front of the Super Nintendo is square, and it's the controller port little section like these guys here that have the angle to them. Every picture I found so far doesn't really show off the side profile very well. But I did find one that's kind of dead on that looks like that's the case. think. Therefore I am. Is that 24? 29.499. Actually, doesn't really matter. Press pull here, and then we're going to do to object, same distance forward as that. And then we're going to add a line here, and we're going to do that. From there, we're going to bring it down. And if this doesn't look right, then we'll go back to the drawing board. I don't know that that looks right. Let's take a look at the other one here. I did add flat spots too for the, so there's better marrying surfaces for the better marrying surface for the two case bodies to make contact. This one obviously I designed it to have the pie in it upside down too. Does look like there is still a bit of an angle to the front of the case regardless. Okay, well let's just continue forward blindly. So we're going to go in from here, and we're going to go in. Why does it keep giving me? We're going to go in from this corner here, and we're going to do 180, I guess. Why is it not letting me type in the like that? And we'll go in 0.5, and it changed the angle for no reason. Cool. Why is it? I don't understand why that's happening. There's always a way. I wonder if the Super Nintendo is curved in the front. I didn't think it was, but yeah, like I said, I haven't found a really good side profile picture that shows it off. I found drawings, but let's see, can I get in closer on this? It is curved. Look at that. And it's not nearly this much taller than the rest of the case, so we can fix that then. We're gonna bring it down to like, well, let's start from the bottom. Let's say it's a rise of probably 1 millimeter. So then we'll do one of these. We'll do that. And we'll do ISO 100. That looks a little bit better. And then, oh yeah, I'm going to eliminate that extra nub in there. Mark, is this driving you nuts yet? Am I just chaos for design work? It's okay if the answer is yes. Create. An arc. 3-point arc, why not? Maybe we'll go in a little bit further than that. That looks all right. Honestly, I think that is better. I'm clicking on your link. I see, yeah, somebody's made a mini with the USB. It's funny that somebody's selling. Oh, is that? Oh no, that's got USB ports on the front of it, so it'll be some sort of Pi. I'm assuming on the inside. It looks like. Oh yeah, because they've got the 120 gig pack or whatever that you can select from. Well, mine isn't perfect, but I think it's looking okay. Yeah, you could have absolutely just rickrolled me there, no problem. So I think the back is rightfully a little bit taller than the front. I can't wait to completely screw this up when I go to shell it, by the way. Okay, well that didn't go well. But let's see, is it going to follow the line? Yeah, it will. Okay, so let's do 2.4. Let's do 2 even. I do still have to. I do still have to add a little bit of a line to the front. This is where I'm gonna have to actually split that first because I don't want to destroy my work. So let's do a modify. We're gonna split the body. I'm gonna get out of this sketch. So if I split it there and I also, now let's split it there first. That worked. We're gonna do a modify. Split the body again. Like that. And now I can hide the parts I don't want to mess up. And then we're going to do here. And we'll go and say 2 millimeters. And we're going to go here 2 millimeters like that. I think that's too steep of an angle. I know this isn't going to translate well in a 3D print, but what are we cutting? We're just cutting 2 objects? 2 objects. You knew. It cut the other objects. Body 11? Yeah, there we go. There we go. And then... I've had a couple of times where it's just like, I'm working on something and all of a sudden it's like, actually, I'm just going to take a nap. Let's do... We're just going to do a combine, and we're going to do that. No, there we go. You know what? You can definitely tell that its ratios are a little off, but I don't care. That looks like a Super Nintendo to me. I have to decide if I want to. So the original base has like kind of like ripples along the inside or the side of it. Like, do I want to go that far with this? I don't know. I definitely want to add a cartridge slot to the top of it so that I can do a little 3D printed. Modify, split body, do that, do that, do that, do that. I think we're at the point now where I can start turning this into a proper shell and modify the top and the bottom separately. So I'm going to do this, combine, and see if the pie still fits inside here. So let's hide the bottom. Bring the pie back. And... yeah. Modify, there's a shell command here, right? Yeah, and then we do here. And we're going to do 1.6, I think is what I decided on. Is it just going to shell properly? Because I don't think that's ever happened to me before. It kind of looks like it's just going to shell properly, and like I said, that's never happened to me before. Huh. Okay. Well, surely the bottom won't go that easy. Although I guess if I'm going to add the extra detail around it, now would be the time to do it. Can I get the angle on that right? Because right now that just looks like a screw hole. Taper angle. 10? My numpad isn't working. What do you guys think? Do you think it's worth trying to get this detail right? only because I kind of have to have this printing by... Well, it's not going to be done by the end of the night, unfortunately. We've got a little less than an hour left. Oh, I think... It's fair. It is fair to say how much detail we'll show. I can revisit it later. Let's do modify shell. The other thing I'm going to end up doing, too, is the ports are going to be... Yeah, no, it's a completely valid point to be like, is it actually going to pay off? So let's see, because that now sticks out of there. Can I move this one? Or is it going to give me the message about, hey, it's anchored or whatever again? No, we're good. So if I bring this back... Oh, they're both... Oh, no, it created another one. Well, that's a little annoying. That's going to happen every time, I guess. 1, 2, 3. And then we do a move on this guy. That's slightly problematic because the... Is some of this bottom angled and some not, or am I just... No, it's not. Okay. Oh, the back is, though. But I might... So let's see if I do new body. Does that still leave a little bit of a gap there? I scaled it, and I'm kind of trying to get it to fit in there as well as possible, but that, unfortunately, makes this a little tight. Although I did factor in for some mismeasurements. But how much does this need to come up? Well, here, I guess we'll start with this. How much does it need to come up to clear that? Three notches to be safe, I think. And then we'll do a move up on this guy and see where that puts everything. Come on. Did it move it back down? It did. It did, because I didn't click OK. So let's go up. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to move this guy. Why is it not? Move components. It's probably going to create another copy of this now, isn't it? Yeah, it did. Can I just remove these ones now? I can. Okay. Well, I don't know what's causing the behavior, but it'll be something that I address in the future. For now, that fits. But what's it do to the top part of the case is the question. Does it intersect the top part of the case now? I don't think it does. I don't think it does. To be safe, though, I think I'm going to do, just to be safe, we're going to add an additional 1mm that way. And we're going to move this up. By 2, because then we're going to bring the bottom back in, hide the top, and we're going to add another 1mm to here too. I'd rather have the little extra bit of clearance. I don't think 1mm is going to make a huge impact on the actual design. And those should still meet up just fine. The cartridge port's going to be the difficult part now, because I don't have a square body to work off of. I mean, I do. I can do like this. Just bring it across to, call it like that. Doesn't really matter. If we go off of here to get a relative center, divide that by half, that gives us the center point of that rectangle. And then using, so the cartridge slot is in line with these guys. It's good to know. So if we go across like this, across like this, and then we go whoop. Well, let's go with this guy here, like this, and then the slot is going to be, let's call it 12. Good enough. That looks about right. Then we're going to check with chat because it's been a little bit. Bob Carnes. Yeah, I don't think they'll break out digital calipers. I hope not. I mean, is what is, you know? It is what it is. Here's what we're gonna do. Because the other thing that happens here is, 2mm? Yeah, 2mm. The other thing that happens here is that there are some case details in here that I'm going to try and squeeze in. And kind of just being an agent of chaos, as we discussed. 2mm like that, 2mm like that. Does that look right? Actually, it looks like it's a little too much, if we're being honest. So let's go ahead and bring it in by 1, cut it in half. That looks better. What's new and exciting in Bob's life? So then, I'm going to just say, I don't know, 0.4 minus 0.4. Gonna get a little sloppy here, because at this scale it doesn't really matter. How far am I from Wisconsin? That's a good question. Let's see. 600 miles, give or take. I even converted into freedom units for you guys. So this part needs to be solid. So I think... No, hold on. Let's see if that's going to give me the indentation I want. That looks not too bad. Not too bad at all. Except one minor correction on this side, probably one on the front too. Why do you ask, my friend? There's that done. Not bad. And yeah, good enough. I went a little overboard there, but that's fine. That's, you know, that's good. We're gonna bring this down to follow that line. There we go. I think we might have this first try this time, not have to make a correction, but you know, don't matter. Just happy little accidents. Ah, I see. I see, my friend. I want a square bottom on this. .2. That's probably adequate, I would think. It's just an indentation so I can print a cartridge to put in there, so. Let's do 76.5. Doesn't need to be perfect, just needs to be working. And we're going to go ahead and bring that all the way, I think, into the sides. Switch that to join, should be fine. Do the same on the other side, so it's got something that can print supports up into, because I feel like this is gonna need just a whole bunch of supports by the time I'm done. And join. Honestly, not too bad. Not too bad at all. I think I'm going to still put in the hole for the eject button. Not that it's going to eject anything, but you know, just to add details. So I'm just gonna... All right. So then we need some switches to go up near the top here. Just looking at the spacing. Let's make them 10. A little bigger than they need to be. And then we're going to go off of the 10s here. We're going to make it 2 millimeters there by 10, 10 by 2. 2 is probably too much, actually. 1.2. And 1.2 by 10. I don't think this is the same. Yeah, it's not. Okay, so we're going to do like yay, and we're going to make it gotta get my chat open back up. Mitch! Long time no see, buddy. Oh, I'm seeing so many people I haven't seen in so long tonight. Thank you all for joining, for hanging out. We're just doing a good old-fashioned pie case design stream. Like I used to back in the day. I'm still gonna have to go back in and add tolerance to all of this. I'm not accounting for anything. That's okay. It'll be fine. It won't be, but that's okay too. We're gonna get there. I brought back the bottom of the case, which doesn't help at all. We need the top. And then we're gonna go to object. We're gonna do this. Then we're going to, oh yeah, that's perfect actually. You know what? Let's bring up the appearance and start. Is there a purple in the library? Huh. There's no purple. What's Fusion 360 got against the color purple? I guess I have to make my own custom one. Let's start with blue. We're just going to look for not translucent, just a matte. Then I think I can go into here and just add some redness to that. There we go. Have I figured out how these are going to be attached? No. I haven't even decided if I'm just going to print this as multicolor or if I'm going to print them separately. Figure it out on the fly. That looks alright-ish. Yeah. Yeah. We're doing great. We're gonna add an additional button right here in the middle. Oh, I guess I can just probably do a modify split case there, can't I? Let's do finish. Instead of doing this multiple times, let's do split body. This is the body we're going to split, and we're going to pick that. Then gray. I'm sure there's a gray in here. You know what? Don't matter. Let's download it. Glossy, doesn't matter. Is there beige? Can we do beige? Sure, why not? Beige. Oh, oh, I don't know if that's terrible or fantastic. But you know what? I'm going with it there. There's your childhood Super Nintendo right there. I don't care who you are. You know what? For how chaotic this was at the beginning, that doesn't look half bad, right? That absolutely looks like a Super Nintendo. And the dimensions aren't perfectly spot on, but you know what? Yep. That's perfect. Like, that is all the bro. So, for those who don't know, and maybe I'll get this a little wrong, but basically the yellowness in old plastics, people used to think, oh, it's exposure to sun or coming from a cigarette infested house, or like somebody, heavy smoking house or whatever. And that is, like, all that can contribute to it. But they used bromine in plastic as a fire retardant, which, as it comes out of the plastic, turns the surface brown because it, breaks down and decays and comes out. Um, and so that's why it's like, it doesn't matter where you store your Super Nintendo. Doesn't matter if it's in a sealed box or if it's in direct sunlight. Um, Almost all of them will go this color at some point. They've gotten better at the stabilization as time's gone on, but yep. That was the thing back then. Okay, let's bring back the Raspberry Pi. Because now I have to start figuring out... Because as you'll notice, the ports are, in fact, right smack dab in the middle of everything. So that's not ideal. But we're going to... right off of here, right off of the Pi... we're going to draw a rectangle. And actually, let's go ahead and hide the back of this first. There we go. We're going to draw a rectangle that can account for all of the things. And we're going to bring it down. Oh, didn't mean to do that. But that's okay. We're going to do an inspect because I got to see what I made this. This one here is being sized to allow for the ports in the back of the Pi to be, or the audio video to be out the back, and to allow for these dongles for the wireless controllers so that they can be built in and not get accidentally removed or lost. That is the goal for those guys, or for this case. Let's call it 10 and we'll call it 80, I think was good. And then we'll call it 80 and 10 again. Doesn't matter much because it's going to be trimmed to the side of the case. So 1.6, but I also want to now add an offset plane, and what's going on here? Oh, here we go. We're going to do a 0.4 and yeah, we'll do 2. That should be fine. New body. Then we're going to do a it's like the inside of this guy here. We're kind of running out of time, so I won't, but this is a tablet that's based on the Raspberry Pi, and if we crack it open, because I found out after I moved that I never put the screws back in it the last time I tore it apart. It is all custom wires and stuff on the inside. So there's expansion boards. The Pi is here, and then HDMI is extended out to here. USB and Ethernet are extended out through here, and it's all patch cables to put the connectors where you want them to be. So that is a common practice. No doubt about it. we're going to go... Oh, did that automatically select everything, or... No, it did not. Yeah, just do that like that. So right now I'm telling it, hey, cut out all the spots on here. For anybody that doesn't know how this works, I selected this face as something I want to modify, or I'm saying I'm going to combine these two, and it's cutting out from this one wherever it intersects with the pie. So when I click OK here and then hide the pie... Oh, that's interesting. Did I screw that up? I must have screwed that up. I must have screwed that up. It must have automatically generated bodies off of all of this. I didn't do the subtract. That's okay. The logic was sound. So we'll do that. And then when we hide the pie this time, there's all my ports. So then I'm going to come in here and we're going to add some tolerances to this. So we're going to do, I don't know, let's do a -2 all the way. No, it's probably more than we need. -1 all the way around it. And then we'll do a press and pull on each of these. We'll pull that out. And even though this doesn't have an audio video jack, we might as well, in case I need to use this again for a Pi 5, because I can just print, or Pi 4 rather, I can just print a plug for that to cover it up. And just like that, we now have cutouts for our Pi connectors. So then, you know what, I should probably really start labeling these. I'm sure somebody's laughing at me out there. Let's do a rename, and we'll call it bottom. Then we'll redo this from on top. Clearance, Clarence. So there you can see, if I do this, that's the other part of my connector thing sticking out. We're just going to do that to get rid of it. Then we go up and take a look. I hope that leaves enough space for, because everything's kind of tight. I don't know if I can get away with, oh, oh, that should be fine. That's where I was modifying the top for the detail work, but it's just because I cut through it. It's not a big deal, this notch here. I'm just wondering if, yeah, I think I'm going to try and move everything over a little bit. I know I'm like cutting into clearance here, but let's do 0.8. I'm scrounging for every millimeter here, which is silly because it's like in Back to the Future when he's like, wait a minute, I've got a time machine. I've got as much time as I want. I've got a 3D modeling machine. I can model in as much space as I want. But I still want it to be tiny and cute. I don't want to deliver a near full-size SNES to him and be like, yeah, check it out. What was I doing? There we go. And we're going to just do that 1 millimeter as well so that everything's lined up. And then we're going to get rid of the extra pi. And then from here, we can do modify and combine. And we're going to combine the bottom with this guy. We're not going to do that as a removal thing. We're going to let them be one. Now this is the real question. Actually, I think what we're going to do, I want this to be to object. I want it to be the same height as that. And then I think we're going to 1.8 make that like that. We'll do new body, I guess. Or no, we can do it. Dang it. We're gonna join it. I know what you're thinking, but guess what? We can just do one of one of those, and then we just go whoosh, and it's gone. She gone, as they say. And then I also think I can just do that, and it should... No? Okay, well, it's... Oops. Why does it keep doing offset plane? There we go. Like that. And we're gonna add a 1.8 millimeter top to this. We'll do a join. Now I want to see if I can just find... Oh yeah. Come on. Get rid of this face. Is that gonna just... Oh, I guess I made that too. Ah, dang it. I basically want to try and turn... Okay, let's do a modify split body. I just need to get inside that spot. Do that. Hide that. I'm gonna hide the other half of the bottom. We're gonna go from that corner to that corner. Press, 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 press. All the way out. And we'll bring this bottom back, we'll hide this bottom. And that's 64.495. Yes, I did screw that up. Almost didn't, though. Who saw that coming, though? When excluding, you can click the faces to extrude the face. Oh, so like if I selected extrude first, and then just started clicking the face or faces that I wanted to extrude before doing it, versus the way I've been doing it. I gotcha. Okay, well, let's see if I can just delete these. That. Perfectamundo. So then let's bring back the other bottom. We'll do a modify, combine that bottom with this bottom. Bottom. That looks okay. Now I need to fill in this space. Probably from this side, right? I don't know, is that going to work like that? Kind of, I guess, because I can do minus, and then we just do this. So give me my half now. Close enough. And then we're going to do a minus 1.6. No? Why are we not? 6. New body. We're going to do a modify, combine. We're going to do this one. We're going to use this to cut it, but we're going to keep the tools. And zero. There. Okay, and then this one's body 22, so we'll just remove that. And then we're going to do an R press. I will eventually learn to do that better, but for the moment, just keep wrapping everything up because we're on a deadline. Here we go. I don't know what the difference of this one ended up being, but we're going to do 2 object and see if we can just... Yeah, there we go. Now it does feel like this could probably actually come down maybe 1 or 2 or more. 3. That should be fine, I think. Oh, the circle. Just because I want to have a little bit of ellipse, so let's do 1.6. Bring it down 1.6, and then I can, up here, do minus 1.6. We are off to... Now, I know it kind of feels like we're close. We're not as close as you might think. Because while we do have the whole, like, none of the mounting stuff is done. None of the how it's going to be closed up is done. But, well, we got 3 minutes left. Let's see what we can get done. Let's hide the top. Let's hide the bottom. I forget what size mounting screws are used in this now. Probably 2.5. Yep, so we're going to do 2.25 for each of them. 2.25, 2.25, And guess what? 2.25. So then when I put a 2.5 millimeter screw in there, there's enough plastic to grip it, and then 2 millimeters gives us 5 all the way around it. I think that should be fine. Five walls or perimeters. I guess it's not walls in this case because, well, I guess it still is. I don't know. But so then we'll do a press pull. Make sure that we get the outer and inner diameters on those guys, or the outer and inner circles rather, not diameters. Do like that. Then we'll do bring the bottom back. Then we'll do a 2-object join. Now if we hide the pie, we've got our mounting holes. That's the reset switch. And then I like to do a chamfer around these guys since we've got some space to play with anyways. Like that. And yeah. Might as well. That'll still give us room for components. I'm debating if, because if I put the hole for the micro SD card in it now, even though I don't want it to be removable, it also guarantees that I'll have enough space for the micro SD card in the event that it's a little bit longer than I'm picturing in my head. So yeah, I think maybe we'll just do that. We'll do a 1 millimeter, probably 0.6 millimeters is enough. Like Mario 64 is what I'm thinking. Does that get us right underneath? Oh, that is just fit. Yeah. Like I know what I'm doing. Aww. We had it though. It was gonna be perfect. What'd I do? 0.6? That feels about right. Like that. Do that, and we'll bring the bottom back, and then we'll click OK. Just like I knew what I was doing. Now I gotta decide where the ventilation holes are gonna be, because, you know, don't want it overheating. Fusion said nope. I've never even looked at the timeline, but yeah. I guess I should also save this. Dongles for days. Well, I was kind of thinking, because it doesn't need a ton, but I don't want it holding any heat. So I was thinking I could probably do ventilation holes here, right? We could do that's a good idea too, Adam. Not gonna lie. So minus 1.6. And what's our inspection show here? 27.16. Let's do 2.4. No, 2.4 there. What's that going to give us for ventilation? I didn't mean to do that. And you know what? Ordinarily I would do a rectangular pattern, I think I'm just going to be lazy about it right now. That way when this doesn't work out, I look even dumber for having spent the time doing it this way. We're almost there. And we do that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. Why not? I think, actually, we're going to undo that. I'm going to go ahead and not have this sharp little weird point here. We're just going to do it like this. That'll give some ventilation anyways. Now I need to get off here in a minute, but I'm just curious. I think the hardest part for the controller ports would be the fact that there's so much curvature to them. I do have... You know the other thing I could do? Heat rises. Okay, so here's a thought. Let's bring the top back. What if... Hear me out. So we're... First of all, the cartridge is going to be... Let's do minus 0.4 for tolerances. And then we're going to press pull. And cartridge is yay tall. Does that look about right? Pulling one up to see what it looks like with the cartridge installed. Which is funny because 90% of the pictures, so I'm either getting, so let's say 22? All the pictures I'm finding with a Google image search of SNES with cartridge installed are in fact without cartridges installed, but I think that is okay. I think that looks, we're going to do new body. What if I cut holes in the back and the heat can vent naturally through the cartridge? What do you guys think of that? How wide is this? 11.2. So that's a full centimeter almost. The cartridge does need to have off the sides here. We'll do a 2mm thing and we'll make it 15, maybe 17. And then we'll do 2 and 17. Just gonna hide the top of this for a sec. No, we need the top. I'm gonna hide the bottom for a second. No, hide the cartridge for a second. To object. Bring the cartridge back, and now it's a cut. And then we do maybe 2. .6. Now let's go for the full 2. I gotta bring chat back because I can't see chat. Sorry, guys. keeps minimizing whenever Alt tab for some reason. That looks like an SNES cartridge mostly. This looks like it's inset a little bit too much though, I think. Do I have an SNES cartridge here? Yeah, there we go. Final Fantasy III, fantastic game. Just getting an idea here, so let's... That's 20, and then this is 16, so it goes down by 4, so 2 millimeters is the proper inset. Is that what I did for this? I think. That sounds right. So that's 9.2, and then this is 11, right? 11.2, so I did to 2, so that's pretty spot on. The indentations on the top, though, I think are... actually, it's pretty accurate. The other thing with the top of the cartridge is that this part here is angled. It still comes down to... Yeah, you know what? That part can wait. Let's see what else we can do here. You could try plugged in instead of install in the search. The wife says that'll work. It took me a second to process. I had already kind of moved past the search thing. I apologize. That does look... Yeah, you know what? I think we're pretty close. I'm going to say good enough, considering the proportions of everything else are off anyways. Let's bring back the switches. Do some renaming here for switch 2. And we'll rename this cartridge. Okay. So if we say that's the case, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide the top and the bottom, and the pie is already hidden. That should give me enough space here anyway. So we're going to do a minus 1.6 as the offset. And then I'm going to do, this is a two-way extrusion, so we're going to go up to just about the top of the cartridge. And then we're also going to go down through the top of the case like that. That gives us our airflow. And then I think we're going to do a rectangle, and I'm going to bring it down to kind of just on the line of the SNES. This doesn't need to be perfect. We'll go on -2. No, just 2 then, I guess. 2. And then inspect, and on the length of this guy, make the ridges extrude and leave the bottoms of the ridges blank for air. Yeah, I don't have the SNES handy for me to look at where the vents were on the original one. I think there were some in the back, but and I didn't follow the ridges extrude and leave the bottom of the ridges blank for air. Oh, I see what you're saying. Like in the front where there's these guys here. Or I guess I could do them in the back. think I'm gonna, just because I don't know. Let's see how this goes first. I think I'm just going to try and do, what did I say this was here? 36. Oh, you know what? We're just gonna do we're gonna call it 2 millimeters. We're gonna do that, and then we're going to finish. And then we're gonna create rectangular pattern. Object is this guy. Axis is this guy. Oh wait, no, that's not the object. The object is, so we're gonna go for faces? Features? Is it features? Oh, I know what it is. Okay, hold on. We're gonna do this. Press, we'll do -2. So then we're going to do a pattern, rectangular pattern. Faces, no, it's features, I think. Oh, did I not go all the way through? I did. Also, it might have been 1.6. I swear. Okay, let's do create rectangular pattern here, I think. I think this is where I was screwing up. That looks close enough, and then we're going to do 38 divided, so 19. Keep forgetting my numpad doesn't work. 19. Minus 1.6. Does that go all the way through? It does. And then I think I'm going to take the time to do oh, really? Like the context menus? Let's go all the way down to here. Well, that is interesting. I'll have to watch the stream back later and then see if I can figure out how to fix that. There, that looks a little bit better. Okay, well, I think that's where we're going to end up leaving things for the night. As I realize I didn't leave the inset for the label. But that's okay, we can do that. I'm going to take 2 seconds to do that right now. We'll go off the ends here and we're going to call it 2.4 on both ends, like that. Then 2. That. And then it's just shy of halfway. So if we do here to here to mark where halfway is, then we bring this guy to here. We do 4, just to call it easy. Minus that by 0.4. And then we do a 0.4 off of that. We bring that down to let's say to there. I will say now, looking at it though, that the ratios on the side pieces are a little off. So I'm just wondering if I do a new body, and we made it 7. Yeah, that looks better. Which part looks off center? So I can take a closer look. There. Now the I'm looking at the label, and it seems to go pretty much right into, like, it stops there maybe. Okay, well, I think that's a decent place to leave it. I'll have to remember that I have to add some tolerances to stuff before I finish it. And I'll add like an, if the bottom's going to print flat, I'll add an upper lip to it that fits inside here for them to slot together a little bit easier. And then we'll put screws here, well, like in the 4 corners, I think will probably be plenty. So let's see how that looks total now. Well, I think we're pretty good. Let's see if I can get the color of this a little bit better, a little more. There, I think that's closer to the actual original Super Nintendo color. Hello, Nathan. Fortunately, we are just about to go off the air, but I appreciate you swinging by. The only other detail we kind of need to add to the cartridge now is the lineage on it, I think, which would be there's what, 1, 2, 3, let's call it 4. How'd skating go tonight? Okay, so let's say 20. 24 is 5. So if we do 4, And then we do create, and we do rectangular pattern. We do these guys. We do 4. We go down. Oh, I never updated to 4. There we go. I was like, why is it not? Maybe 5? You know what? That's good enough. I know that I keep saying, oh, I gotta go. I do definitely have to go, but let's do minus 0.4. And then we'll do 0.4 there. Point 0.4 actually feels too big, I think. I think 0.2 is probably plenty. Right, because we just want the detail to show up. Actually, I want another one of these too. So if I do a rectangle here, how big is that? 0.250. So let's do a 0.250 off the end of here. We'll go here, bring it down. Bring it in 0.2. I feel like that. Well, thanks for swinging by, Nathan. And thanks for saying it looks good. I appreciate it. Did I screw that up? That looks bigger than the other one, right? Yeah, I screwed it up. Dang it. There. Debating the best way to do this now. Actually, I have an idea. I've got an idea on how to get it to the other side. It's just a little silly, but we're gonna do it anyways. So I'm gonna do what I'm going to do is bring it across that. Then I'm going to do offset, and we're going to see what we can do to get this to be not putting holes through the middle of the thing. Doesn't matter. That gets us our lines there, and then I just do like this, like this. The other way I could have done this quite easily would have been to just split it and mirror it. Plenty of ways to get it accomplished, but I think that should do it. We modeled up this SNES Raspberry Pi case today that will take a Pi. I'll make the top disappear. Take a Pi with some dongles installed on it for wireless controllers, so that the dongles don't go missing. So just kind of modeled it around that, and there we go. Honestly, not too shabby for one night. I will probably be back next Wednesday to finish this design up because we got to get done. Unless I finish it ahead of time, if I've got some free time, where I may not be able to stream. But you guys will one way or the other get to see the finished look, and I will release this case design for free to anybody that wants it once it's done. That's pretty much it. Okay, I'm gonna wrap things up quickly because I've run quite a bit later than I. Unfortunately, I'm about to log off, so. But yeah, like I said, hopefully back next week, and we're gonna get into the 3D modeling for that new printer. So thanks everybody for hanging out with me and for all the suggestions and the feedback as we went through. I really appreciate it. Really happy with where we ended up with this too. It looks it looks, I think, pretty authentic. It looks pretty good. I'm using Fusion 360 for my modeling, so we'll add controller ports to the front. I will probably close these ends in on the inside so that I can screw the cartridge in from the inside of the case, make it a little more stable than just painting it. And yeah, I think that's about it. So I hope to catch you guys all in the next one. Thanks for hanging out, and I hope you all have a great night and great weekend. And talk to you later.